And welcome into beautiful Boyd Highlands up here in Harbor Springs. We've got the maestro, the emperor, Ken Griffin. Ken, great to see you. You're my establishing shot guy, and I think you killed it again.
Good to see you again, Dan. Glad you got a chance to play yesterday and this morning, and glad to get together with you this afternoon.
Absolutely, and so much to get to. And let's bring in the legendary Jeff Lesson, the longest-running continuous golf show host in the country. It's something to write home about. The host of Lesson on Golf, a great friend, and one of the finest citizens I've ever known. Jeff, great to see you as well.
Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind, Dan, but thank you very much. How about that round we played?
That's what you say about me. But there's a lot that I want to get to. And Ken, let's start as we just saw the new Trackman Range here at Boyne Mountain or Boyne Highlands. And just if you could, because I've been seeing people on this range all day in the last couple of days we've been here. It really is very unique, and it seems like people are going to love to be able to have this as another thing to do up here on top of the 55 other things you could do up at Boyne Highlands and Boyne Mountain.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. There's only a handful of facilities in the United States that can offer a 32-acre practice facility like we have here at the Ross Golf Center. So, yes, we're standing on Trackman Range so we can see the latest edition. I mean, we've got the ability here to have two putting surfaces, to have a range for tee time golfers, to actually have a separate members range, to actually have separate practice facilities. It's 270 degrees that you can hit around this surface over 32 acres. So you can actually hit from each side toward each other and not get in. And we've taken this whole south side of it now. We have a 30-bay Trackman range. So for those that may be familiar with Trackman, it's kind of like Trackman on steroids. Because yes, for the golf geeks, you certainly can get all the details that you want. You can just download the app on your phone, get a bucket of balls, or get a day pass, or even a season pass. But you can come out here and get all the data that you want. You can tell your shot angle, you can tell your deflection, your angle off the tee, you can tell your distance, your carry distance, your total distance. So there's a lot of figures that you can get that will help improve your swing if you're into the golf data. But where it really takes it a step further is that you can just come out here and have fun with your friends. There's a lot of golf entertainment facilities, without mentioning any brand names. And, we're probably never going to get one of those in Northern Michigan because we just don't have enough people. But we actually do have the ability to have the tracer programs and to have games on it. You can come out here with your friends and get some food and your favorite adult beverage and come out here and get one of the bays. And actually, you can play, bullseye, which is, hit the target. You can play a long drive contest with your friends. You can play a capture your flag or closest to the pin. So all these are available just by downloading the app on your phone and coming out here and hitting balls on the range here at the Ross.
Yeah, it seems like that's what a lot of people have been doing. As I've been watching people, you mentioned their favorite adult beverage and coming out here and having fun and getting better at golf. What would you say to people that maybe are beginning in golf and maybe think, oh, is Trackman something I want to do? It seems like a little too much. I mean, obviously, this is something that can help anyone of any skill set, whether they're a beginner, whether they're an intermediate, whether they're a scratch golfer like Jeff Lesson. What would you say to people like that?
Well, I'll use my family for an example because I pick them all the time anyway. But, we went to one of the facilities, and the other four were not golfers. Okay. And we spent 2 hours and, spent $100 and we had an absolute blast because it was just fun. Different people at the same level. If you've ever been to a facility like that, not everybody hits the ball well. In fact, most don't. So you can have golfers in a bay hitting very, very well. You can have other people beside them that are hitting it 20 or 30 yards and shooting at a closer target and still having a bunch of fun and seeing who can get closest to the pin with games. And like I said, having a little bit of food and beverage while you're at it. So if you want to improve your game, you can. If you want to try the game out for the first time, you can. If you come off and you've played 18, you're like, geez, I want to play, but I don't really want to go back out necessarily. You can come over here because as part of the whole Trackman Range experience, you can take, now this part is an iPad, but the simulator, all the Trackmans that are on a simulator are also part of this. So you can take any course in the world that's on Trackman Simulator and it puts it onto the system behind us. In fact, 5 of our courses are on it. So let's say you play a couple of the Boyne Highlands courses and you can't make it over to Bay Harbor. Well, you're going to have the ability to stand there and play Links Quarry or play one of the 9s at Bay Harbor as an additional round added onto your day. So there's just so much potential for this thing and so many different opportunities for people of all levels to enjoy it.
Great stuff. Let me bring the great Jeff Lesson in here. So many things you can do up here, so many great courses. So far, we played the Heather, which I know is one of Jeff's favorite courses in the world, and we played the Donald Ross Memorial today. Jeff, I just want to throw it to you. I mean, I've been lucky enough to come up here with you several times, but you've been up here a lot more than me. And you mentioned something today and yesterday as far as what you saw with the courses and the conditions that it was pretty nice to hear.
Yeah, I'll be on. Let me begin, Ken and Dan, by saying that I've loved this place for as long as I love golf, even longer. I grew up here skiing on North and South Challenger way back in the 70s. Yeah, I'm old. But I'll tell you, I've been kind of a Boyne golf snob, admit it, for the last 20, 30 years or so. Meaning when I came up here, I only had time to play 3 courses. I'd go to the same 3 standbys. I would go the Heather, the Hills, and around at Bay Harbor. Today changed things for me. The Donald Ross Memorial, I played way back when it was open. Was it the early 90s or whenever that was? And I enjoyed it then. But the last time I played it, wow, it was over 5 years ago, maybe 10. And it was nowhere near the condition that it is today. Dare I say, my favorite course in Michigan is the Heather. And the Donald Ross Memorial was so spectacular condition today. They have the same super now. Director of Golf Josh Richter just told me today that the Heather has, and I would explain it. It was in spectacular shape. I got to rethink my rating of the Boyne courses, and now it goes on my must-play list and the must-play list that I'll send to listeners that ask me. You got to add the Donald Ross. Got to be in the rotation every time you're up there.
Ken, I know that's got to make you feel good. I know how much how much hard work, from the top to the bottom, staff wise, and the greenskeepers and everything. And I agree with Jeff. I mean, like I said, I played up here a lot, and I love it up here. It's a special place. But I can't believe it was just the conditions are some of the nicest I've seen anywhere ever in my entire golf life. And I know you guys have worked really hard on that.
Yeah, our superintendents do. We had a national partner come in last week. He couldn't believe how good a shape the courses are in this early in the season. And that, in a large part, goes down how much work the guys do in the fall putting them to bed, too. And Jeff, while you really, really like the Ross now, too, I'm anxious to see because you guys are playing a course tomorrow. You're going to play the Moore. And we've probably made, I call them subtle but significant, but for a round of golf, probably more strokes are there to be had now on the Moore. The Moore was a tough course. It was very challenging, especially around the greens. And I think people were going to find that we're giving you more shot options around the greens now, instead of just having to hit a chip shot on and hoping to stop it on a green that wasn't necessarily flat. Now you have the opportunity to putt it, to still chip it, or to even do a bump and run and get it up there. But, I'm anxious to see what you think after the Moore, because I know that wasn't always on your hit parade. And I'm going to be very anxious tomorrow afternoon to talk to you and see what you think about that one too.
And Ken and Dan, if I may ask Ken a question. I know Barney Friedrich, the grand poobah here at Boyne Golf for many, many moons, a Michigan Golf Hall of Famer. And I spoke to Everett, the late, great Everett Kircher, the founder of Boyne Golf and Boyne USA.
So I think we're a little delayed on Jeff there, so we'll get back with him in a minute. But you know what? I want to talk to you, Ken, about some of the changes, as you mentioned, on the Moore and the Ross Memorial in one moment. Let's hear from our friends at Screwball.
Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. A refreshingly unique taste on the world's most classic spirit. Anything but ordinary.
Apparently,
and always
there were
lives up to the name.
Made
Screwball Whiskey. The
Heather
original
and the
peanut
Moore.
butter whiskey.
At one point in time,
gotta love our friends at Screwball. Ken, we'll get back to Jeff. We apologize. Obviously, when you're outside, sometimes the signals can get crossed with all the great, cool TrackMan stuff here. But Ken, speaking of the changes, obviously the more that I want you to get into, and I know you did a lot of work on number 1, which was a hole from Seminole on the Donald Ross Memorial. And I just want to say, if people have not been up here, I know a lot of my friends and my dad loves that course. It is such a unique experience because you get 18 different holes, some from Pinehurst, some from Oakland Hills, some from Detroit, one from Detroit Golf Club, and all these just such a cool experience. But you guys have made some updates on these courses, and I know you're really proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, when we put that together, the idea in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, we put them more together. Everybody was trying to build a hard course that you couldn't hit. And instead, we wanted to build a challenging course that gave you unique opportunities. So we visited 50 different Donald Ross courses east of the Mississippi. And then, unfortunately, the Royal Dornoch hole from they didn't get to go visit. But anyway, just a great experience because it's holes from all over, holes from Pinehurst, holes, as you said, from Seminole, Inverness, Aronimink, just holes from all over that, and most of them are private clubs that you can't even get on. So it's a great Donald Ross experience, and they took that whole course so that it fit the terrain that we have here at Boyne Highlands. So it wasn't just pick a hole and that's a favorite. It's pick a hole that fits the terrain and the layout that we have to match. And that was the real challenge that they came together with. And it's just great. Here we come, 30 plus years later. And the fact that we can go in and through the fact that we have better technology now through satellite imagery and drone technology and everything to even better replicate what's going on. So we've removed some trees. We're adding some sand and fescues. So the Donald Ross number 1 right off the first tee box is going to be much more like the experience that you're going to get at Seminole. I believe it's number 6. And it's also going to impact one of the Pinehurst holes coming down on 15 too. But anyway, it's just that course is such a unique experience. And the fact is you can't play most of those courses because they are private. So it's just a great opportunity. And I know guys that say it's not just that I get to play those different holes. It just plays together as a really good golf course. If somebody didn't tell you that these were 18 holes from all over the place, you would never realize that you're just getting to experience different holes, but they play together so well as a straight course.
All right, let's get back to the JLS here. Jeff, I know you had a question. We got your single back. What do you got for us, man?
Well, I'm just listening to Ken talking about the Ross, and it really is like playing 15 or 14 different courses. There's a couple holes from Seminole, as Ken mentioned, a couple holes from Pinehurst, number 2, which is one of the few publics you can play, and a couple holes from Oakland Hills. They got number 16 and 17 at Oakland Hills in there, and it's just a pure golf experience. Of course, along with that, you're playing maybe 18 different kinds of greens and the slopes and the mounding. So if you're pretty familiar, like I play the heather enough here to know where the greens break. But out in the Ross today, as pure as those greens were, it takes a long time to figure out where they're going. It makes you want to go back again. But that was just designer golf at its best today. I'm looking forward to tackle the more tomorrow, like Ken mentioned. And I think before I got dumped out by the video before, I was talking about how the Moor in the last decade or so has been restored to its original splendor. There were a number of years, I believe, where the Heather and Moor holes were kind of interchanged, but I believe both courses are now back to their original design. Is that right, Ken?
I think we got Ken. Did you not? We're not able to hear Jeff there. I mean, Jeff, for some reason, the Lesson feed is having an issue today. We love Jeff.
Lesson seems to be. I hope you can. I'm coming through a little clearer than Jeff is.
No, you look great. He was asking about the changes of the Moor, and I know Jeff
okay.
did a flip
Sorry
too.
about that. I didn't hear the feed. Thanks. No, the change on the Moor, we try to make it more golfer friendly. I mean, it was always a very challenging course here, and shot placement was more important than picking out your big driver and banging it. And we've changed the shape of the fairways, widened them in some instances, lengthened them back toward the tee boxes in some others, and you really see a lot of changes around the green where it used to be a forced chip shot in a lot of cases out of rough close by the green. We've actually reshaped the grass lengths around the green. So actually, what we're really trying to do is make it much more golfer friendly, or give you more options. I went into Bernie that Jeff has talked about, my boss, and I said, look, for me, there were 18 times where I was tense around the green, and that didn't make for my enjoyable round of golf. And what I find now is I got a bunch of different options, whether I want to putt or whether I want to bump and run, or I can still chip if I want to. But it was just a much more relaxing round of golf on a great golf course. So.
All right, well, Ken, we got to talk about the accolades that you guys continue to get, and let's talk about Golf Digest Editor's Choice 4th consecutive year for both the Inn at Bay Harbor and Bay Harbor Golf Club. Golf Digest selected the Boyne Golf Academy as one of the best golf schools and academies in the U.S., one of only 4 in the Midwest and 2 in Michigan. Golf Pass listed Boyne Golf, and specifically Boyne Highlands, number 1 for the best golf and ski resort in the U.S. Number 1, not number 2, number 3, number 1. Plus, obviously, Sugarloaf in Maine, number 2, Big Sky, number 8, and Sunday River, number 20. And then just last week, Golf Week listed the Arthur Ellis course of Boyne Highlands and the Lynx Quarry matchup courses among the top 20 public courses in Michigan. Ken, it's an honor to be up here as always. We become good friends. I have such respect for what you guys do up here. But I got to tell you, for someone that works as hard as you do, and Bernie and all the staff here, to see all these accolades, I know you're not in it for the accolades, but you're in it for the accolades because that gives the people a great experience and the reason to come up here. And as I said, and as Jeff said, he's been coming up here a lot longer than me. It's just such a special place. There is so much to do. You just feel, not just relaxing is not the right word, but you're in heaven. If you're a golfer, if you're someone that likes to ski, obviously in the winter, there's hiking, there's pools, there's hot tubs at late night, which I love. I know you guys really are proud of these accolades, but you do this because you want to set it up for other people to enjoy themselves.
Well, our team, as you said, thank you very much for the kind words. And our team does work very hard. And that goes for everybody from somebody that has a rake in the hand to somebody that makes their bed to somebody that's serving you breakfast. They're trying to create that experience and be to the expectation level that you get based on the awards that we've received. And those are, great for our guests for confirmation and great for us. From the standpoint that our team really works hard and even competes at some level against each other to try and beat the other courses and be in even better shape. And to go along with that, for a number of years, we have felt that, and we've recognized as a resort, that maybe our level of rooms here at Boyne Highlands wasn't necessarily at the level of our golf, or our golf was maybe a little bit better than our room options. You have great experience at the Ross Cottages if you want to stay right there along the Ross 14, but just our hotel rooms. So we've gone through a major upgrade process. We're about halfway through it, or almost halfway through it on the room standpoint. And you guys had a chance to experience that, but we want to get our room just a standard, well, anything but a standard hotel room, I guess she'll tell everybody. But we wanted to really step up our game from a room standpoint and the experience standpoint overall, and how much that helps your overall experience.
Well, Ken, in the business, we call that a tease because we're going to show you what those rooms look like and how insanely incredible they are after a quick message from our friends at Screwball.
Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a refreshingly unique taste on the world's most classic spirit.
All right, so you teased it, Ken, and I got to show you now. So listen, you're always taking great care of us here. And you mentioned the upgrades on the rooms, but how about let's take a look at these new King Suites at Boyne Highlands. They are just, listen, the rooms were not bad. They just, needed an update like a lot of places do. They are now on another stratosphere. And as you see on your screen, the people that are watching and that will watch this, going forward, Ken, I'm not like super fancy pants, but I've stayed at nice places. I had a nice, family growing up, so I was lucky to stay at some nice places. This is one of the nicest rooms I've ever seen anywhere. They are ridiculous. There's a smart fridge. There's an espresso maker. There's a ridiculous, bathroom with an awesome-looking shower and a child-proof heat button. It's just out of control. There's robes in the room, and there's slippers, which I love. I got to tell you, I know it's been a long process. I know COVID obviously kind of put not a damper, but a little more of a delay because, people couldn't work as much as they wanted to. You guys have done, when people come up here and stay in those rooms, and like I said, you mentioned the Ross Cottages, and there's other places to stay that are great too. They are going to be blown away by how they're up here. It's the up north feel. It's all the stuff to do at Boyne, but you're staying in a room that makes you feel like you're in a suite in Vegas.
Well, thank you very much. We're glad you enjoyed it, and that's the comments we were hoping whenever somebody stayed in those rooms, especially if you've been in the older rooms, like you said, that just needed updated.
Yeah, it's just incredible. What a job on that. Before we go, I wanted to, give you a chance because, I've been, loving the ability to come up here and obviously experience the Boyne Golf for myself and the whole experience, but also, do these shows and try to get, because I think that it's, as you work so hard and your staff works so hard, as I mentioned, the accolades are great, but it's like people come up here and it really is, especially with what we've gone through the last couple of years, it's a reset. It's a great place to be with your family. It's you got to be grateful for what we have after what we've gone through with this pandemic. And while obviously there's so much and so many things to do up here, there's a lot of people that I've talked to, and I'm glad that we get to do these shows, the people that maybe are thinking about coming up, but maybe are overwhelmed. They've never come here before. They don't know how to book something. They don't know how to get in touch with people. What would you say to someone that has maybe never been here before, that is getting into golf for the first time, or, has been in for just a little while, and maybe not that they seem overwhelmed, but what's the best solution for them because you guys, as you mentioned, such a great staff. We got a message in our phones that said, is there anything we can do to help you as soon as you check in? You guys are all about customer service. You're all about people feeling comfortable, whether they're playing, 6 rounds in 3 days, or they're playing a 1 round or 2 round in a week. What would you say to those people? I know we got the website right here, BoyneGolf.com.
Well, I'd say 2 things. One, we continue to try and provide a great experience, and like you said, the staff works really hard. I'll stretch it out a little bit. Even before you come here, I think we're very fortunate to live in a place where not only does our staff, but our staff are local residents, and you can take it well beyond that. The communities of Harbor Springs and Petoskey and Boyne City, Walloon Lake, do a great job the same way. There are so many activities. I think there are, last count I had, 14 wineries sitting in between our 3 resorts. There are a number of distilleries. You've got a number of breweries and tap rooms. So you have all these different experiences. Heck, you're only a half hour from Mackinac Island here. So it can be your base to play golf and take an evening and run over to the island. So there's just so many different things that you can do up here. But like I said, we're a great base of operation. And if you just go to BoyneGolf.com, we've been golf focused and that's what we're all about here, especially in the summertime. But we also make it very easy to see what our resort experiences are like. So if you just go to Boyne Golf, we've got quick links to go to Boyne Highlands, to Boyne Mountain, to the Inn at Bay Harbor and the cottages, either at Lakeside or at Crooked Tree, to see exactly where you want to stay. The nice thing is that you have access to all 10 courses, no matter where you stay. We want you to have your best golf experience and your best guest experience from where I stay, the type of room I stay in, my food and beverage experience, and you have all those options. So go to Boyne Golf, take a look at our courses. If you've got any questions, there'll be 800 numbers there for you to call. That makes it easy for somebody on our guest experience team to walk you through the process. They know how much time it is from one course to another and how much time you need to allot. They've got a ton of experience on calls and are be more than happy to talk to you. So just BoyneGolf.com, and then take the 800 number on the page and call right in to talk to somebody to help you out even further.
And Ken, not that I need to light a fire on anybody, because this place is so awesome, especially for people that have been here before. They know that, and the new people that come up will agree. But I know bookings are already ahead of 2019 and 2020. We know, obviously, the pandemic slowed some stuff down, but then golf just exploded beyond any meteor shower we've ever seen. So people should, get to BoyneGolf.com now, because you mentioned the bookings are really they're ramping up.
Yeah, weekends are very, for sure. Don't delay in trying to get online and take a look at it.
All right, Ken, great stuff from you. Great stuff from Jeff Lesson. We apologize for his signal. I think Jeff did it on purpose to make us work harder for him, Ken. But it's always an honor to be up here. I know the Moors you mentioned, we're playing that tomorrow. We're playing Bay Harbor Links and Quarry. We already played the Ross Memorial, which is incredible. One of my dad's favorite courses, and the Heather, which I know is one of Jeff Lesson's favorite courses ever. And we got the Hills this afternoon with the show. And I think, Ken, you're going to come out and play for $100 a hole, right?
100 pennies a hole.
All right, that sounds fair. Great stuff as always. Please go to BoyneGolf.com for Jeff Lesson and Ken Griffin. I'm Dan Leach. Get up here, friends. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Check out those new King Suites. The courses are in incredible shape, and Jeff Lesson's playing a lot more golf than I have in my life, and he literally, you would see him every hole this morning at our 7 o'clock tee time, which for me was amazing to get up on time. I think it was 3 minutes late. He was just in awe of the shape of these courses, the conditions, and obviously the weather is beautiful up here in Northern Michigan. So until next time, we love you. For Jeff Lesson, for Ken Griffin, the Emperor, I'm Dan Leach. Thanks so much for watching the Task Force on Location Special Edition, Boyne Highlands, BoyneGolf.com. We'll see you next time. Until then, believe in the dream.